Welcome and thank you very much for being here. As you know, in this class, we are going to discuss about Daljit Nagra's poem, Look, We Have Coming to Dower. So, for your convenience, I have divided the class into five parts. In the first part, I discuss about the important points about the poem. Then we move on to the context of the poem, when this poem was written, why it was written, what is the purpose, and thirdly, what are the central themes of the poem, and we'll go on to a detailed summary, and finally, we will conclude. Before that, I really want to thank once again for being here. And if you don't know me, you're for the first time. My name is Pradeep Hariharan. And if you already know me, thank you very much for being here. Let's start the class. So the first point, the sixth thing point I'm going to say is the most important thing you should always write if this poem was asked. Whether it is a paragraph question, write three or four of them. If an essay question, write all of them because this gives you a wonderful introduction than a conventional introduction. So remember, this poem is another poem which deals with the immigrant experience of the speaker. Remember, we have discussed this immigrant experience of the speaker in other poems like Alabanza and Wrong Radio Station, which all speaks about the immigrant experience in the country. Here, in this which the speaker is of Indian UK origin and he speaks of his own immigrant experience. Second one, remember the poem actually say we have coming to Dower. There is a Dower, and we have studied a poem written by Matthew Arnold, which is known as Dower Beach. So this poem start with an epitaph of the poem quoting Dover Beach. So it can be treated as a reply or a dialogue with Matthew Arnold, who has glorified Dover in his poem Dover Beach. And remember, this poem won the Best Poem Award in the Forward Prize in 2007. And as I told you, the theme is obviously he speaks about the experience of British born immigrants in Britain. And the form of the poem is dramatic monologue. And remember, this poem voices the first time experience. First time means as a person who was migrated to UK or born and brought up in UK, and what kind of a racial segregation has to face in the country, racism he has to face, and the kind of jobs they have to do in Britain. And remember, the title is very important. It has taken from two sources. The first one from W.H. Auden, Look, Stranger, and D.H. Lawrence, Look, We Have Come Through. So these are the six poems you have to write as an introduction to this poem. Now coming on to the second part. Second thing is, what is the context of the poem? Remember, this poem, as you already know, written in 2007, and at that time, Tony Blair was the president of UK, and he was strongly against immigrants and immigration. Even when Donald Trump was the president of America, he was also strongly voiced against immigrants. So similarly, here in this poem, the author is mocking at England because you are yourself an immigrant country. Your language is immigrant because English. It's a language which was flourished with the help of all other languages. So how can you say that you are against immigrants? And moreover, the poem speaks about the four problems faced by the immigrants. First one, lack of official documentation. Second one, finding difficulty in work and housing. And third one, threat of violence and deportation. Now we come on to the central themes of this poem, which is just two. One is what is the cultural identity in the of British immigrants in Britain, and secondly, the life of British immigrants in Britain. Now we move on to the important part, which is known as the summary of the poem. Okay, let's do the summary of the poem. So I have divided in the left hand side, you can see the original poem. On the right hand side, you can see the summary. So it starts with Matthew Arnold epitaph, as I told you. So various, so beautiful, so new. And the first five lines, it's not as it is in the poem because for whatever space, it has been crushed, stowed in the sea to invade the al fresco lash of a diesel breeze, ratcheting speed into the tide, run to it, gob full of surf, flamed by cushy come and go. Tourists prod on the cruisers, lauding the ministered waves. So I'm sure you did not understand anything. The person here is describing their journey on a boat to the Dover. Actually, stowed in means arranged, packed. Actually, how the boats travel with immigrants or workers. They are packed without any gap. And so we sail across the English Channel and we are going to the Dover. And when we go through the Dover English, and what happens is that some tourist boats are going, and their water is splashed on our face. Okay, so we are splashed by the spit-like surf. It's just like the foam is like spit on our face, right, by cruise ship on which rich tourists stand tall as if command of obedient waves. So in the first stanza itself, the poet presents a beautiful picture of the immigrant life, how they are living. In the second stanza, he continues saying that seagull and shore life, vexing their barnies upon our hurdled, camouflaged past, the vast crumble of scumbed cliffs, scrambling of mulch as thundered unbladders, yobbish rain and wind of our escape hutched in a Bedford van. Very difficult to understand. And summarize. Remember, these people are traveling, and he says the seagulls and other coastal creatures are making angry noises at them. Okay, and but these people huddle together and they cross the boat. They reach the tower, and they say the waves are hitting so fast and an aggressive thunderstorm is lashing, and they reach ashore and they bundle into a small van. You know how these workers are taken to their workplace. And second, in the next stanza, he says, seasons or years we reap inland, unclocked by national eye, or stab in the back, teamed for breathing, sweeps of grass through the whistling asthma of parks, burdened, ennobled, polling sparks across pile and pile. They say we people, we work in land, we day and night at various jobs, especially in agriculture. We try to be avoid because we may afraid of stabbing in the back or by the police who will catch us. And we sleep in silly parks without being unnoticed. And we sleep in pylons, under pylons. And he says we are as important as the pylons because they serve you electricity. And in the next swarms of us grafting in the black with shot of the moon's spotlight banging on the miracle of sun. Spanish rainbow and passport to us life. Only then can it be human to hoist ourselves barefaced for the clear. So he says, swarms of us. We are not story of one or two people. It's of thousands of people. We are walking in the darkness, and we are hoping for one metaphorical sun. One day people will change. The sun will come, and they will treat us like human people, humans, and we will get more happier and freer life. Only then we can proudly walk into the light. Otherwise, we have to live in this. And last stanza, the five lines. Imagine my love and I, our sundry others, blared in the cash, our of our bee-waxed cars, our crash flows free. We raise our charged glasses over unparasoled tables, is babbling our lingos, freckled by chalk of Britannica. So he says in the final stanza, imagine me and my love, my friends together enjoying a good life, happy life with money, cash, and nice clothes. And we're raising our happy champagne and we're sitting on the beaches just like the rich people do and speaking in our own language, okay, happily freckled with the chalk dust of the British coastline. So it's a dream of what you may call immigrant to live as equal, as free, as a native in UK, enjoying the same kind of life and benefits they are enjoying, and being treated equally as a human being. So it's a very touching poem by Daljit Nagra. Let's conclude this. To conclude, we can say that look, we have coming to Dower. It offers a very what you may call nuanced and complex look at the intersection of cultural identity, immigration, and politics in contemporary Britain. It does not speak about the immigrants; it speaks about the politics of Britain, and it's also and the language is very powerful, and sometimes it's very hard to understand. And it's an honest account of an immigrant life in Britain. The people who live underbelly, whose life is never ever recorded officially, and it also speaks about the attitude of others to the immigrants. And finally, it asks us to reflect on what is our attitude on the immigrants in our own lives. Okay, how do we treat them? And finally, and what you may call, we must think of multiculturalism and the larger and social political context of these issues than looking at in the context of Britain. So these are the things we need to know about this poem. Remember, this was not a great analysis. It's a very what you may call the one of the shortest ways of summarizing this poem. Hope this was useful to you. If you really liked it, please do hit on the like button. It helps me in YouTube ranking. And also subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. I'll see you in another video. Until then, take care. Bye bye.